everyone, it's Teresa. I am back with another resin project. I'm going to show you like the full thing of how to make one of these gorgeous boards. So I'm taking a piece of black walnut wood. I will list where I got my wood from. I don't have it local to me, so I have to buy it from someone online. I'll list that below for you though. And now what I'm taking is some black diamond pigments, and if I can find the right colors that I used, I'll list them down in the description box as well. Basically you're putting just a tiny little bit. I've already mixed up my resin at this point, did the whole mixing process and all of that, and I am adding in a darker blue, a lighter blue, a dark blue cup and a light blue cup, and I added a little bit of like a turquoisey color to both of them to kind of give it that like almost turquoisey color like undertone. And I do have a cup that I am leaving with just clear, and I'm using this pigment paste from Eye Candy, and this is really great for the white ocean. We'll see that in just a minute. It's been my favorite so far. I have a few more to try, but this one's been my favorite as so far. It's nice and it's thick. That is kind of like the thing you want the most on your whites. Don't mind me, I'm just completely out of frame here. I'm gonna move everything out of my way, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my board all ready to go. I have already taped up the bottom. You want to do that for all of your drips, and it's been sanded to, with an inch of its life basically. And we'll do all those details again. If you're interested in knowing all that stuff, let me know down in the comments. If you want to know like how do you sand it, like the whole process, I'll happily make a video. I am first doing my dark blue. I'm going to just smooth that over all of the edges as well, because I want it to run over. If that's not a look you like, you can obviously tape it. It's pretty simple. You just tape it with painter's tape, and it'll come off with using like a heat gun to make sure that you're getting in, warming up the resin once it's hardened to be able to, take the tape off. So I do my dark blue, and now I'm doing my lighter blue. And on here, I am going to give it a little bit of the light blue kind of in the middle, like where the two meet, to help kind of give it a little bit of a transitional color. And I'm going to mix them a little bit here and there too. I like it because it gives it a really cool dimensional look. It gives it something kind of interesting. It's not a stark line from one to the next. And you could definitely do a stark line. I was actually on vacation a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking at the ocean for research purposes. I should be able to write that trip off, right? And there is a lot of times there actually is a stark look. Once I've gotten it all down, I do go over it with a blowtorch just to pop any air bubbles, because air bubbles are your enemy when you are doing resin projects. So as you can see, I definitely blended them in. I gave them like a little swirly look. They won't stay, so you can give it to it, and don't worry though, it will kind of fade in. It won't be so abrupt, and it's going to give it a really cool like overall look though. Now what we're going to do next is I'm going to wait a little while. I'm going to wait probably a good 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to put down my clear. Now you'll notice it's super thick, and it's having a harder time coming out of the cup than the blues did. That is because I've waited a little while for it to kind of set up. Now this particular resin is a tabletop resin from Super Clear, and it is only got about a 30-minute working time. That is perfectly fine with me for these projects because I want it to thicken up, especially the white. You'll see here how crazy thick this white is. And at this point, I'm probably really close to that 30-minute mark, maybe even a little bit over, just because my environment is quite warm and your environment may differ. It might change your times. It's all your times you kind of have to play with and experiment with. I'm also inside of a little tent that I have on my back patio that I have a portable AC unit in, because you have to be really careful about your temperatures and your humidity and all of that. I'm putting down this line of white. Again, you want to try, you gotta find exactly the right balance. Not too thick and not too thin of a line. I'm going to show you this part in real time and then I'll speed it up in just a minute. But this is actually the process of blowing out those waves and making them give you that foamy look. I am still a beginner at this. I would still consider myself a beginner at this whole process with the resin pouring and stuff, but I am loving it and I hope to show you guys some more. But you see here, you have to go pretty slow. You know, it's the heat gun I'm using is on the highest heat, but it is on the lowest speed. It's only got 2 speeds, so here I am. I'm going to speed it up so you can kind of get through this part. But you blow it out and keep in mind it is going to continue to stretch. So if you don't like this super big foamy looking wave, you can put down less white and blow it out less far. Does it? I don't know if that makes sense, but you kind of get an idea of what I'm saying. And keep in mind too, I did put down that layer of clear. What that's doing is as I blow the white, it's blowing the clear as well, and it's keeping a little bit of separation so that those two don't mix. Now, if you go through it and kind of give it a quick little go over with the heat gun, you can kind of get a little bit of separation between the white and like kind of give it like almost like a lip. You can always go back and add in more resin, more white along the edge of the wave if you want more of a lip. So this is the next day. You can choose to wait a full 24 hours. You can go even longer than that. It kind of just depends on you. I like to wait at least the next day before I add on my next layer. And I'm going to repeat this kind of the similar process that I did on the first day, where I was putting down my first layer. So I'm putting down my darker blue, and I kind of did the same mixture. It doesn't have to be exactly the same color because obviously there's just different, different look to your ocean waves. They don't have to be identical colors. So I did the same idea. Dark wave, or dark blue, light blue, kind of in like a greenish tone to it. And I put down that layer and then I kind of mixed them all together. Today I did it with my finger. You never know, gloved hand or a popsicle stick, whichever you prefer. Craft stick, popsicle stick, whatever you call it. I did the same kind of idea, like the little wavy motion, going around on all of the edges, just to try and make sure that it has covered those and is given that nice full coverage. Once I, again, have waited a little while, I'm going to come in with my clear and I'm going to give a nice layer. See how thick that is? Like I said, you don't have to have the clear that thick. That's just because I waited to do this because of the white. You can mix your white up first. Some people do that. I don't like the idea of mixing 2 of them up at different times, so it's just preference. So now I'm putting down my white again, and this is again on top of the dried resin. You can sand a little bit between layers just to make sure your resin has something to kind of grab onto. And I'm just doing a really thin layer. I don't want it to be super crazy foamy because the first one was really foamy. And what I plan to do in the future is actually make that second layer a little more translucent so that you can see the foam underneath it. I haven't tried it yet, but that's in my mind. That's on my plan for the next one. So same idea with the heat gun. It's on the highest setting for heat, lowest setting for speed. So I'm just going to just start blowing that out. You can change it up a little bit. You can move it around. You can make it look like it has, like a certain tide direction kind of thing. However you want to do it, it's going to be really, really fun. My preference for the direction I'm doing it was definitely the first layer, how I had it kind of the whole thing facing me as opposed to having it at the side like this. I have since gotten a bigger table, so hopefully this won't be a problem in the future. But here's how it turned out. I have done a layer of wood wax on the actual wood part, given it a couple of coats of that to give it this gorgeous, gorgeous look on the wood. And as I said before, I'll have a bunch of these products that I use today listed for you below, so you can check them out if you want to. And hopefully you are liking these resin projects because I plan to keep doing them, and I'd love to share them with you if you guys are enjoying them. And sorry if you keep hearing all of the lawn stuff going on in the background. 5 minutes ago, he seemed to be done, but apparently he wasn't. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.